Hey YouTube, E3 happened, or is still happening, I don't know. I'm going to talk about E3's press conferences. I know in the previous video I said I wasn't going to watch them, and I was debating to stick with that, but I decided, you know what, I might as well just watch the press conferences so I could have something to talk about so I'm not missing anything. And the only thing I'm missing are just three game titles. But, let me talk about Microsoft first, since that was the first conference I saw. And I gotta say, I was just kind of shocked. I was happy that they showed games as they promised, which is good. They needed to show games, but they didn't show a reason why I should buy Xbox One. And that's the thing. Like I remember watching the Xbox 360, thinking, I think I should get the Xbox 360. I mean, Gears of War looks pretty interesting, and it's called setting and all that cool setting and all that stuff. In this generation, I just don't see anything on the Xbox One that is really enticing me. And if you tell me, well, there's Metal Gear Solid 5. Well, Metal Gear Solid 5 is coming out on 360, PS3, and everything, and Xbox One and PlayStation 4, so I already got that. I don't need to buy a console for that. I could get on the current console I have. But other than that, like there was not really an exclusive that made me drop what I was doing and look at it. They showed Respawn's new game, Titanfall, and that's not interesting to me. It just and it just looks like Call of Duty with mechs, and I just don't like that personally. I just thought that Titanfall was just it's a Call of Duty, and that's all it felt like. Even the gameplay looked like it was Call of Duty, so it didn't really sway me. And it feels like it would be a timed exclusive type deal, and I could see that going on PlayStation 4 down the road. Uh, but other than that, it was just nothing at Microsoft's press conference that really surprised me. And I was kind of shocked that they didn't clarify their DRM and all that stuff. And yeah, they said they were going to talk about games, but they didn't even clarify that back at their Xbox One reveal. And I feel like they could have spent at least 15 minutes clarifying that up, but they didn't. Uh, and really, all the games that they showed were just kind of safe games, and it's the same criticism I have for Sony as well. They both showed very safe games, but none of them really they never really type out a release date. So the games that both companies showed, I don't know I don't know if they are day one or not. So already with Xbox One, there's really nothing I don't know what's going to be on day one. I could assume Halo 5 is going to be day one because that's a big title. But even then, it's just I don't know. I don't know what's day one. The games that they showed at day one showed there were just oh well, this is gonna be interesting, but I don't really care. Uh, then if you look at I mean, and that's the thing is just, they didn't really make a case, and then they announced the price to be $4.99. Is ridiculous. And to me, they are already shutting people away by making these, anti-consumerist decisions. They have a hard case to make to sway the consumers to buy the Xbox One over the PlayStation 4. Because the Xbox One is, to me, I can't wrap my mind around people saying, yeah, I'm going to buy an Xbox One. I can't wrap my mind around that because and especially for people who can't afford games new, I can't see them buying an Xbox One. I can't. I can't wrap my mind around that because you can't buy used games unless you want. Because if you buy a used game, you have to pay a fee on top of that. So at that point, you might as well buy the new game. But then it's like, but I can't afford a new game. So yeah, overall, the Xbox One to me is the most anti-consumerist product, and I've always viewed that way with Microsoft. There's because I mean even with the 360, there's these small little things that they did that I just can't wrap my mind around. Like they have Netflix behind gold. Like you have to have gold to get Netflix. You have to have gold to get YouTube, and those features. Especially with Netflix, I'm already paying a subscription service to that. I shouldn't have to pay two subscriptions to use it. That is ludicrous to me, and it makes no sense. So I don't get that reasoning. Uh, And so, like, Microsoft has small decisions that are just, how can we get the most money out of our consumers? So I don't get how people could back Microsoft from the beginning, because this was, their next step in the Xbox One was just to get more money out of you by charging you for Xbox Live, having you to connect to online, having you to pay a fee for to play a used game. If you want to lend a game, you can only do it once. It's ridiculous. It is the most ridiculous system that I've ever seen. Like, I get angry thinking about that because it makes no sense to me. I don't understand it. Um, so overall, I think Microsoft's press conference in terms of games, probably their best E3 in comparison, but it was just there was nothing there to see. I mean, Halo 5 just had Master Chief looking up in the sky. That's not really gameplay. I don't get why people are blown away by that, because it's not gameplay. um, but then so then Sony's conference came on, and I kind of had a very high expectation for them, and they kind of met. They kind of met it, but at the same time they kind of was all over the place. Uh, and the funny thing with Microsoft, as I said, they left a huge window for Sony just to step right in and take all those potential buyers and swing them their way, because right out the door, they from the first number that comes out of my mind when I think of Sony's press conference is the PlayStation 4 is $399. So already they have a bigger case for people to buy their console because it's cheaper than the Xbox One by $100, not by like 50 or anything, by 100, which is a difference, in my opinion. Uh, they have no DRM. They have no plans on doing DRM. They have no interest in that. You don't have to be connected online all the time. The PlayStation 4 does not need a camera at all. It's just, it comes with the console, it comes with the controller, that's it. And the headset, that's it. And an HDMI cable. That's all you need. Uh, and it was just, that to me is already a case enough for people to buy it, but the thing is, the games, I don't know if are day one. As I said, these games that they listed, it seems like, oh, these games are coming, but at some point. The only day one game I could see coming out would be Infamous. But everything else, I don't think Final Fantasy 15 is going to be day one. I doubt that will be day one. Same with Kingdom Hearts 3, I don't think that's going to be day one either. And I was kind of surprised there was no Last Guardian. I will say, I was kind of expecting to see more of that, or at least something. But it wasn't there, and they keep saying this, oh, it's not on hiatus, it's being made. But this game has been off the radar for so long, people are starting to not care anymore. And you can't really just say, well, we're being worked on and we're not going to convention, so we can work on it. It's like, well, you need to make something so people know that it's there. Otherwise, they're just going to assume it's canceled or it's never going to happen, and that's what it looks like. It looks like it'll never happen. But other than that, Sony had a strong press conference because they pretty much wiped the floor with Microsoft, and they pretty much bashed them really hard in the beginning, or in the middle, where they were talking about the DRM disc and all this stuff, where they say, well, you can trade used games and all this stuff. You can do everything you do now on the PlayStation 4, and I think that is just a slight sting to Microsoft's press conference and their Xbox One, and already I think the tides are going to change, where PlayStation 3 was, really selling. I think the Xbox One is not going to be selling very well either, because Sony already made their point as to why the PlayStation 4 is better in the sense, and one of my friends said that, oh, Sony's arrogant, I don't think they were arrogant at all at this E3. They were just up on stage talking about their console, and they never once said, we are the best. Fuck everyone else, we're the best. You're here for us. They never really said that. I never got that tone with them. I never, saw that. I think that, because they learned their lesson from the PlayStation 3, where they were really arrogant. Now it's just like, well, we're making a console, it's gonna be out, and it's gonna be really cool, and that's what Sony is to me. So overall, it was awesome. So I think Sony has the best press conference. Now Nintendo is tricky. I need to watch it because it was all in Japanese, so I was like, I'm not gonna watch it. I mean, there's some stuff in English, but I couldn't find it on YouTube for whatever reason. But overall, I didn't feel the need to watch it anymore because I knew what they were going to go with. It wasn't a press conference at all. It was a Nintendo Direct video, which they've done like I think every Monday, I think, or something, or every first Monday of every month or something. It's a system they've been doing because they want to get good buzz on stuff, and they've done it. So they did kind of like something similar to that for E3, and it was just not there. Like it was just very muted. Like if I feel like you go to anyone and say, "Do you see Nintendo's video?" and they're like, "Nintendo had stuff for E3," and it was like, "Yeah, Nintendo was there." Um, they showed like new Donkey Kong game, new Mario. The new Mario that they're doing for the Wii U, I think, is interesting. It's a 3D Mario, like Mario Galaxy, but multiplayer, which is cool. I think that's a really good step in the right direction. But overall, it's just I don't think. I think it's just this is very disconcerting for Nintendo, especially with the Wii U not really having good sales and not really having a lot of games. This was their time to make that change, and they did. They had games there that were awesome, and you know, it was really stepping the boundaries and all this cool shit. But uh, yeah, overall please Nintendo just didn't have a strong presence there, and that might be challenging for them to make in the coming months, especially with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One making such splashes in the pool. The Wii U had a year head start, and people are forgetting about it. Like I feel like people were expecting Nintendo to come out with a new console at this point because people forgot about the Wii U, and that's a problem. But overall, I think Nintendo had a good E3. I think it was better than Microsoft's in a respect of they had interesting games, they had cool stuff shown. Bayonetta 2 looked really awesome. So yeah, I think the Wii U has games, but they just need to they just need to throw them out there, but like games, and Wii U games and all this stuff because like so far it's just like games, Wii U, games. And that's what it feels like. It feels like that it's just this really quiet kid in a party be like, "Hey guys, what's up? This party's really cool," and just no one's paying attention to that kid. But yeah, I think that's it. I think overall Sony had the best E3 because they had really a lot of good points with their console and all that stuff. So keep on trucking. Feel free to give your opinion. No hate. No bait. Just give me your opinions. I mean, I don't think Microsoft is awful. I just think that the Xbox One is gonna have a hard time trying to find a home. So that's it. Later. Have a good day.